Good morning, class. Myself, Mrs. Monica Parekh. Welcome to Physics class, Standard 9, Subject Physics. Chapter number 2 is going on, that is work and energy. Yesterday we have saw expression for potential energy and kinetic energy. Also we have saw the transformation of energy from one form to another. And today we are going to see law of conservation of energy. So, what is this law of conservation of energy states? It states that energy can neither be created nor it can be destroyed. It can be only converted from one form into another. Thus, the total amount of energy in the universe remains constant. In the last section also I have told you that energy, it's neither can be created nor it can get destroyed. It just changes its form, one form to the another. Thus, the water total energy is there in the universe, it remains constant. How they changes the form of energy? In this manner. Here in your textbook on a page number 25, an activity is given to us. That is, we have to make two pendulums of the same length with the help of thread and two nuts attached to it. And we will tie the thread in the horizontal position, another thread in horizontal position, and we will make arrangement in this manner. Now, when we tie this, we will make show that they are at a rest position. That is, they are not in a swing. They are not doing the swing. Now, after they get stable completely, we will pull one nut to the particular height and we release it. Then what we found, that nut to which we have pulled to this side, and when we have released it's oscillate, that is started to swing in this way, and it will collide on this nut, and the second nut will also starts to move in such a way. And what we find, slowly the speed of this nut will be decreased and this speed of this will be goes on increasing. So by this we can conclude that the energy from this nut will be transferred to this nut and from one nut to the another. So we can see that the speed of oscillation of pendulum will slowly decreases and the second pendulum, which is initially at stationary, will be sway. Thus one pendulum will transfer its energy to the another one. How the energy get transferred? It's the example for this. Under this law of conservation of energy, again one topic we are going to discuss, that is free fall, and we will prove that how the total energy in the universe will remain constant and how it changes its form from one form to the another. For that our next topic is free fall. Now suppose if we release any object from particular height, so what happen with that? It gets pulled towards the earth. Because of what? Because of gravitational force. So when an object falling solely means alone, under the influence of gravitational force, is said to be a free fall or to be falling freely. As that of this free fall word. Okay, when it will be said the free fall, when an object falling solely under the influence of gravitational force, that is the only force act on it is the gravitational force, nothing else, it is called as free fall. Now we will see how the kinetic energy and potential energy of an object of any particular object will change at particular height when any object will fall to the ground under the free fall. Let's take this example. As shown in this figure, we will take an object whose mass is m and it will be falling freely from the h height. This means total height of that object will be h. And when the object is at different height, we will calculate the kinetic energy and potential energy of it. As shown in this figure, see, at A position, the height of it will be h. And at B position, here is the B position. So what could be the height of it? Let's consider the height covered by an object from A to B is x. So what could be the height at B position? It will be h minus x. That is h minus x will be height at B. And let's see be the ground position. Now directly below the A and B, we will calculate the energies of A, B and C positions of that object. Now let's consider the first case. We will calculate the energy at location A. When the object is stationary at A, what could be the initial velocity of it? Not at only A, whenever any object will be at rest, its initial velocity will be u that we will consider as 0. And what will be the height at this particular thing? Height is h. Now, what's the kinetic energy formula? The formula for kinetic energy is half of mass into velocity square. Let's put the values of it. Half of mu square, because the velocity only is the initial velocity act on that particular object. And here's even we can write directly kinetic energy as 0 because it's at certain position, it's not in a motion. It gets some energy because of its position. That object is at position A. Still, if we go with the formula, let's put the value of u is 0 into this. Anything into the 0, the answer will be 0. Hence, the kinetic energy value will be 0. Let's find out it for the potential energy. Potential energy formula is mgh. Mass into gravitational force. Acceleration actually it is, but the force act on this is under the influence of gravitational force only, and h is the height of it. Here in this example we have taken the mass of it will be m only, the force act on it is g and the height of it is h. So Iz's formula will remain. Let's find out the total energy. Will be the addition of kinetic energy and potential energy. Now here as we have found the kinetic energy value is 0 and potential energy we got as m into g into h. Hence finally we reach to this, that is total energy is mgh. Now let the velocity of the object be vb because it's at the position of b. Let's take it as vb when it reaches at point B, having fallen through the distance x. Having fallen through the distance x means the distance covered by an object is x. For this, we will just put the values which is given by it. U is 0 here also because the initial velocity of the same object is falling down is u is equal to 0. S is the distance covered by an object, that is the x. See here in the diagram, it's covered the distance x. A, that is the acceleration, will be equal to the g because it is under the influence of gravitational force. It's the free fall. Now we will use the Newton's third law of motion. What is the third law of motion? V square it is v square equal to u square plus 2as. Let's put the values into it. Our v will be, v is nothing but the vb. Let's check the square of it. 0 is the value of u, 0 square will be again 0. 2, a is nothing but our g and distance is nothing but x. Let me zoom this for you so it will be clearly visible. Okay, then finally we reach to the v square is equal to 2gx. Let's put it these values into the kinetic energy formula. The formula for this is half of mv square. Okay, here v is our vb, so we have written here as vb. Half of, now we can put the value of v square is this, that is 2gx. Let's put the values into it. We got half of m in bracket 2gx, which is the value of v square. This 2 and this 2 get cancels and we left with mgx. Now let's find the same thing for the potential energy. For potential energy, we require height of it. What is the height of it? At what height that object will be present, that height we should consider. So the height at this particular point is h minus x. Let's put these values into it, and mass and g value will not change over here, so it will be remain as it is. Potential energy is nothing but m into g into h. H value we have as h minus x, so we have put into it. When this mg will multiply inside with this bracket, it has to multiply for the both the values. So we got mgh minus sign of the middle bracket and mgx is the potential energy value. But that's not it. We want the total energy at particular point, that is as point B. So the total energy at point B will be total energy is addition of these both energy, that is kinetic energy and potential energy. So let's put the value. What you got the value for the kinetic is mgx. Put it into here. And for the potential energy we got mgh minus mgx. Do you find any similar values over here? Yes, this mgx and this mgs. But though they look similar, their signs are opposite to each other. This is the minus and this is the plus. This will cancel each other and will remain. Values are total energy is nothing but mgh, which is even same to the total energy at position A. Now let's try for the velocity of an object. We will consider as Vc at the C and we will find the total energy at the location C, point C. Now the object will be here, exactly below the ground of it or above the, just before to touch to the ground. Okay, now the object is reached to the C position, that's the final position on the ground. Here again let's take the values which are required for this. The velocity of the object will be Vc at this point when it reaches to the ground near the C. Now here also our u value will be 0. S value, that is the total distance carried by that object, will be h, total h. See? And acceleration will be a g, gravitational force act on the object. Again we will use the third law of motion of the Newton's law. Here we have the formula is v square equal to u square plus 2as. Let's put the values which we have into it. V is nothing but Vc. I'll zoom this for you. U is 0 and 2. A is nothing but G and S distance is H. So what we left with? kinetic energy is half of mv square. Sorry, we left with the vc, that is v square value is 2gh. Let's put it into the kinetic energy formula, half of mv square. Here instead of mv square we will write vc because it's the velocity at point c, half of m 2gh, which is the value of v square at particular point c. So we have this 2 and 2 get cancelled. We left with kinetic energy is mgh. Now for the potential energy we should know the height of it. But as we know that position C is nothing but exactly on the ground, so the height of it will be 0. It does not possess any value of position, it's exactly on the ground. And the potential energy's height is nothing, or the potential energy itself is nothing but the energy it get because of its position or the state. So h value is 0, then potential energy formula is m into g into h. If h is 0, then all things become 0 because of this reason. Now let's find the total energy at point C. It will be the addition of kinetic energy and potential energy. Then as your potential energy is 0, the total energy will be nothing but the value of directly kinetic energy, which we got as m into j into h. Now in this all three cases we got the same value. Total energy is the same, that is m into g into h. Thus every object has potential energy when it is at certain height above the ground, and it keeps getting converted to the kinetic energy as the object falls towards the ground. On reaching to the ground, that is at point C, what will happen? All the potential energy gets converted to the kinetic energy. But at the any point during the fall, the total energy will remain constant. Let's understand this concept with this figure. The potential energy will be very high, or the total energy will be only the potent because of its potential energy when the particular object is at height and it will be in a rest. That will be the total energy is nothing but equal to the potential energy. When it's in a motion, that is when it's fall towards the ground, in between the potential energy will goes on decreasing and the kinetic energy will goes on increasing. But still at this point the total energy will be constant, and when it reaches to the ground the motion has stopped, and even it reaches to position 0 means the value of h will be 0, that is on the ground. So its potential energy value will be 0 when it is reaches to the ground, and it is gained high energy of kinetic energy, means total energy will be because of its kinetic energy. Let's understand these things with the help of summarizing the values which we have got because of these three derivations. From the equation 1, 2, 3, we see that total energy of an object is same at the 3 points, that is A, B and C. Every object has the potential energy. Every object has the potential energy when it is at a height above the ground. Of course, it will have the potential energy because it will gain the energy because of its position, that is nothing but the height of it. And it keeps getting converted to the kinetic energy. How it getting converted? As the object fall towards the ground, because its position is goes on reducing, hence it is started converting to the kinetic energy from the potential energy. Here are the values which we have derived. Total energy is the addition of both potential energy and kinetic energy. what we got at a point A. When the object is at point A, total energy we got as, because of its potential energy. The value of potential energy we got as mgh, but the kinetic energy becomes 0 as its velocity, initial velocity is 0. And we finally got that mgh as a total energy. At point B, the both the energy are acting together, means to find out the total energy we have to calculate the addition of these both, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. Means we can also say that both energy under the work, or both the energy having the effect on that object, because though that object is falling towards the ground, it is not reached to the ground exactly, it is at certain height, hence that both energies working on that object. Here we got as this mgx as a potential energy, and we got mghx as a kinetic energy, and we have when we have multiplied this inside it, we got as mgh minus mgx. So we have cancelled this mgx with this plus mgx, and we have this final result, that is mgh is the total energy at point B. For the total energy at point C, as the height of that object becomes 0, hence the total potential energy becomes 0, but it gets the maximum kinetic energy, that is mgh. Hence the total energy at point C is mgh. By seeing this value at point A, B and C, what you got the value is mgh all over. That shows that the energy will be remain same. The energy neither can be created nor can be destroyed. It just converted from one form to the another form. Thus, the total amount of energy in the universe will remain constant. After the free fall, next topic we have as power. To understand this concept power, we have few examples. Let's see that. Can your father climb the stairs as fast as you can? Answer is no, of course, because the energy which you are having, that will not be the same energy which your father is having, the power. Let's make this question simple for you. Is the time required for both of you is saying, or you will climb that faster than your father? Of course, all of your answers might be yes. Energetic students we are having. Next is, will you fill the overheaded water tank with the help of bucket or an electric motor? Which option you will choose? The bucket or electric motor? Or how the task will get completed in less time, with the help of motor or with the help of bucket? The answer will be electric motor. We will use the electric motor to fill that tank. It will be require a less time to complete that work. Now suppose Rajeshri, Yash and Ranjit, they are the three friends, how to reach to the top of small hill. Rajeshri went by car, Yash went by cycle, while Ranjit went by walk. If all of them choose the same path, who will reach the first and who will reach the last? Easy. Of course, the person who is using the car will reach first, that is the Rajeshri. After that, Yash will reach because he is using the cycle, and the last will be Ranjit as he is going by the walking. So in the all these cases, in first example, as compared to your father, you will climb the stairs faster. The tank will get filled faster with the help of motor. In this case, Rajeshri is the first to reach to the hill, top of the hill, and Ranjit is the last to reach to the hill. Now, in this above example, the work done is same. All of them has done their work. All of them has done their work. But in each example, the time taken to perform that task Task means that work is different for each person and each method. Here the persons are different, here the method is different, and here the equipments used are different. Okay. The fast or slow rate of the work done is expressed in the term of power. If the work is done in the fast or slow, this term will be referred as power. So the definition of power is the rate at which the work has been done. Power is nothing but the rate at which work is done. So what could be the formula for the power? Power is the work done in the time, so it will be work divided by time. Referred as work stands for W, time stands for T. So the P and the letter used for the power is P. P is equal to W upon T. Before start with the unit of it, let's take an introduction of a scientist. The steam engine was invented in the year 1780 by the Scottish scientist James Watt. In the year 1736 to 1890, this invention brought about an industrial revolution. The unit of power is called as watt in his honor. James Watt was the first to use the term horsepower. Horse was the unit of power. Now we will find the unit of power. In a SI system, the unit of work is joule, as we all know, and so the unit of power will be joule per second, as it's just the formula of it says that work upon time. The unit of work is joule and the unit of time, SI unit of time is second. So it becomes joule per second. When we can say there is a 1 joule work has done in the 1 second, it is called as 1 watt power. When the 1 joule work is done per 1 second, we can say there is a 1 watt power is used. In industrial sector, the unit to measure the power is called as horsepower. So 1 horsepower is nothing but 746 watt. The unit of energy for the commercial use is kilowatt. The energy is nothing but our work. So for the energy for the commercial use is kilowatt hour. So for the 1000 joule work performed in 1 second is nothing but the 1 kilowatt power. So we can express this as 1 kilowatt power per hour is equal to 1 kilowatt energy is nothing but the power, we can say again, it is the 1 kilowatt power per hour will be 1 kilowatt work has done in 1 hour. Put the values of it, as I have told you, 1000 joule work is nothing when it will be performed in 1 second will be the 1 kilowatt power. So it will be 1000 work into 360 seconds, that is in 1 hour 360 seconds, 360 100 seconds are there. So finally we got as 360 lakh joule, which is again equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. Electricity used for domestic purpose is measured in the kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is the 1 unit of it. Let's take some examples to find out the power. Swarali takes 20 seconds to carry a bag of weight of 20 kg to certain height. What is the height given? 5 meter. How much power she has used? So what is the given things are there? That we will write first. 20 second is the 20 seconds are the time for it. Okay, here is one correction. Instead of 20 seconds, make it 40 seconds. 40 seconds to carry the bag. So 40 seconds will be our time. 20 kg is the weight. That is mass value will be 20 kg. Height is 5 meter. The force which has to be applied by Swarali will be, what's the formula for force? Force is equal to mass into acceleration, but here we will use F equal to m into g, as the things should be pulled against the gravity. So let's put the values into it. F is equal to mg, mass is 20 kg into 9.8 is the gravitational value. We got the product of it is 196 Newton. Work done by Swarali to carry out the bag of 5 meter to the height of 5 meter. We will find that. The formula for the force work is F into S. Work is equal to F into S. Put the values. Force we have calculated is 196 Newton into, what's the distance? Distance from the ground we have to calculate. So 5 meter is nothing but the distance of it. So 196 multiplied by 5, we got 980 joule work has been done. But they have not asked the force and work. We want the power. The formula for power is work upon time. Put the values into it. 980 joule divided by 40 seconds. Value of P we got is 24.5 watt is the power she required to pull that bag. Carry the bag of 20 kg at 5 meter height. Here we have another example. A 25 watt electric bulb is used for 10 hours every day. How much electricity does it consume by each day? Now here we have to find the energy. Now it is not mentioned in your textbook anywhere, but it is used in this example. The energy consumed, the formula for calculating the energy consumed will be power into time. That is, energy is nothing but the work over here. So when that time will be moved from division to the another side, it becomes multiplication to the power, and energy consumed will be equal to power into time. Here they have not asked the power, they have given the power. What it is given? 25 watt, and it is used for 10 hours. So it is, as it is in hours, we have to convert, it is need to be converted that watt into kilowatt. So P equal to 25 and the W value will be 0.025. Put this into the formula. Energy consumed equal to power into time. We got as 0.25 kilowatt hour. That's it for today, and here our chapter number 2, work and energy, completed. Students can start writing their exercise. At least the few easy questions like the filling the blanks they can solve by their own.